I got a second Bell MX-9. All you got to do is subscribe. If you want to win it, I'm going to announce the winner in a month, send it to your house free of charge. Also, I got a brand new, never used 1-up chain guide. All you got to do is subscribe. I'm going to pick the winner for this probably in a couple weeks. I appreciate you guys tuning in. This is a way for me to show thanks. And anyways, on to the video. What is up? Red Bull Hardline just wrapped up. It is very late because I'm in the US. The race started at 10. I am going to do a recap. Not a super in-depth rider by rider recap. I am simply going to go over what I found most interesting, the most exciting takeaways, and what I found really intriguing. And so starting with that, the first rider, the arguable MVP of the day, or in my case, the night, is Gracey Hemstreet. This girl is so naturally talented. I believe she truly possesses the skill set to take it to Valley Hall. I know Gracey Hemstreet has not yet demonstrated at a World Cup the level of speed and ability that she is able to demonstrate at a race like Hardline, and you can just also see the incredible amount of natural ability when you see her riding. She is one of the most talented women I've seen, as is Valley Hall. This is not to discredit Valley Hall, but I really believe Gracey Hemstreet on the Norco team, being sort of mentored by Greg Menard, the GOAT, I really do feel that it would be a total unsurprise if this year, or maybe it takes another year, she makes a sudden, not a step up, but a couple steps up. When you see her riding, it is pretty clear that she is a phenomenon. She just hasn't put it together at the World Cups. The equation, the puzzle, she's just missing a couple of these pieces before she's able to really start showcasing what she is capable of in the biggest races in the world. And she threw a whip at the sort of, it's probably 70-foot double at the bottom of Hardline. Man, 99.99% of mountain bike riders the world over are looking in envy. She can ride a bike as good as anybody on earth, and I am excited to see her battle who is currently the undisputed queen of downhill, Valley Hall, and man, I could not be more impressed with Gracey Hemstreet. Next thing or exciting takeaway that I got was my boy G. Atherton, the freak of nature, the dude that eats granite and concrete for breakfast. He is made of something different. You watch the Ridgeline videos he does. Clearly, this dude is not normal, and I love him for it. There was kind of a race within a race of the previous generation riders, Josh Bryceland, G. Atherton, and Sam Hill. And I can tell you this, G. Atherton smoked Josh Bryceland and Sam Hill. He by far looked like he was sort of the best in shape, was riding the most, and was far and away the most impressive. And the dude is 40 years old. Now on to one of the coolest stories of the race, the arguable MVP, Sebastian Holguin. I'm sorry if I completely mispronounced that. I'm terrible with names and it's very late. Talking about making a statement on the world stage. This is one of the very best urban downhill racers. He has racked up, I believe, numerous wins in races like Redbull, Serra, Abajo. I might have mispronounced that too. Sorry about that. But anyways, clearly the skills and technique and ability that he has been learning from the urban downhill races has translated onto the dirt. He ended up getting, I believe, 7th, but really that is irrelevant compared to how good he looked, how smooth he was, how aggressive he was able to really put down a run that I don't know if it was the biggest run of his life, but it might be the biggest stage. This had, again, it was a miniature World Cup in my opinion, and this rider out-delivered. Next up is Tehuto Enrique Pene. This was also a fantastic result for him. He is on a new team this year. He is actually teammates to Sebastian. They are both on, I believe, the Road downhill bike, a belt drive gearbox system bike. also being tested on the Athertons, among others. So it seems like for the people that have been clamoring for the pinion gearbox in the belt drive system to finally make its way into elite downhill, well, this is the year it's happening. There is a $100,000 bounty for the first elite World Cup win on one of these pinion belt drive systems, and it's looking like this year is very likely to see it happen. Reese Wilson, I believe, is on one, and there was numerous teams testing out the technology, so very cool to see that. Next up is Connor Fearon. Now we are into the top 5. He looked fantastic. This is a incredible result. He is no longer on the forbidden team that he was racing last year, and he's not focusing on World Cups to the same degree. Hopefully we get to see him race as many events as he's able to, because he has got the skills and the ability to do so. Next to Troy Brosnan, what was cool about Troy Brosnan is not only did he look great, but first person to take this really cool, clever line towards the bottom of the track that the Australian locals were kind of affectionately referring to as the local line. It is this kind of tight chicane berm S-turn. But what Troy Brosnan did, and ultimately I believe Connor Fearon did, and Jackson Goldstone cleverly did as well, is instead of going outside to outside, they cut the first corner tight to the inside, and that allows you to maintain a pretty straight line over the roller where you're right beside the track marker, and ultimately it allows you to carry a lot more speed over this small double, and after this double you end up going onto that big wooden platform drop right before you get into the biggest sort of 4 or 5 jumps at the bottom. Jackson Goldstone actually in the interview after the race referenced seeing Troy Brosnan do it. I guess they had a screen up at the starting gate. He hadn't done it in practice, looked at Troy Brosnan doing it and assumed that is a much better line, and actually pulled the trigger for the first time on it in the race run. And that ultimately leads me into the big finale. Asa Vermette, Jackson Goldstone. The rivalry is on. Jackson Goldstone got the win. What a unbelievable performance, just showcasing that after the incredibly disappointing way that last year went, to come back at the race, literally his first big international downhill race, one of the gnarliest of the year, and to beat Asa Vermette, who is the next hot shot prodigy that I can guarantee you has his sights set firmly on Jackson Goldstone. It looked to me like the nerves got to him. He made a big mistake, a near crash up towards the top of the track, and you can imagine for Asa, this is a first experience being the last man down racing in the elite category, not including the US, I believe the Killington race, which very cool race, but not nearly the exposure of a Redbull Hardline event. So this was really a debut experience, and as you can imagine, I'm sure the nerves and intensity got to him, but you wouldn't know it from the results because he was 0.2 of a second off Jackson Goldstone. It is official. I am announcing it. The rivalry that we are going to see play out over the next 5+ years in World Cup downhill has started. Asa Vermette, the Colorado kid, versus Jackson Goldstone, the Canadian boost bro. It is just so cool to see Jackson Goldstone, this generational talent, and lo and behold, we do not get just one of these riders. We get Asa Vermette coming up a couple years younger than him. What a cool moment in the sport of downhill. There is going to be a lot of exciting and dramatic races that we have to look forward to, where those dudes are going to be qualifying 2 and 1 and 1 and 2, and man, they are going to be winning a lot of titles between them, in my opinion. In addition to Max Allren, he's also, I believe, one of these prodigy level talents, but congratulations to everybody that did it. It was awesome. Let me know what you thought. What were you surprised by? What are you excited by? It sucked that Ronan didn't get to participate. But anyways, let me know what you think and hope you enjoy the video.